So just look at the, yeah. Okay. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and I have Lindsey back on my couch.
Hello.
So I'm so glad because we are doing part 2. So if you haven't watched part 1, I would tell you to pause this.
Yes.
Open a new window.
Part 1.
Yes, and watch
part 2.
Yes, because otherwise you will be like, what on earth is going on in Beauty by Rosh's channel? So just go and watch part 1, even a little bit, so then you can sort of catch up. So now we're in part 2, and then we're going to talk about tips and tricks and sort of exercises that you can do to better your public speaking, correct? I think I'm right? Okay. So Lindsey's going to teach you some practical things that you can do. Yes, you may look like a crazy person looking at a screen and screaming, but maybe you're in the privacy of your own home.
Yes. That's a good place to practice these.
Yes, maybe not in office when all the other people are like staring at you and like, oops, I had my earphones on and I'm now screaming. So yeah, so Lindsey, let's get on with it and then tell us what we can do to better ourselves with all the things that you spoke about in our first video. So what we can do now in practical sense. Okay.
Great. So I mentioned in part 1 that I love theater, I love performing, and so I draw from a lot of theater techniques when I'm public speaking. And whether or not you love to act and perform, these are useful exercises when thinking about how you can really engage your audience through pace, pitch, pauses, and emotion. And first of all, anytime you're doing any sort of public speaking, you need to warm up. Even if you think, I've been talking all day, I talk all the time. Still, public speaking can be an easy time to trip over your words, to mumble, to get things garbled up. So taking a few minutes before you start, in the privacy of a corner or your home, before you head out, do some tongue twisters. Now there are different tongue twisters all around the world. I'll share a couple of the ones that I like.
Right.
So one of my favorites is a hot cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot. Want to try that one, Rosh? A hot cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot. Good, very good.
It's easier if it's written down.
It is, it's true.
It is easier.
We can write them below.
Yes, we'll write them below so that you guys can find it easier. Now I'm finding it very hard because I'm just like, which one came next?
A hot cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot.
Perfect. So they will keep trying that.
Try that one,
Okay,
yes.
so one more time so that
ready?
you can try with them. Okay.
A hot cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee pot.
Perfect. So how many times should they do that?
You can try that one about 3 times, and then we'll give you another one that's good for M sounds.
Okay.
Maybe my mummy may move to Miami, and maybe my mummy may not. Try, Rosh, try.
Oh. Oh, I'm gonna get all tongue twisted.
That's okay, that's why we're practicing.
Okay. Say it again.
Maybe my mummy may move to Miami, and maybe my mummy may not. Good. Okay, now try it. You try it.
Okay.
Maybe my mummy may move to Miami, and maybe my mummy may not.
I love it.
You like that one? You like that better than the
yes,
coffee pot?
I think so. I think I like it better than the coffee pot. I love how fast you can do these. Can you do it really fast?
I won an award in grade 2 for tongue twisters. So I feel like
you were destined. You were destined.
But a new one that I learned recently that I do find tricky is unique New York, New York's unique. You know you need unique New York. That one's really hard. I just learned it recently for a play that I'm rehearsing right now. It's really tricky, but we'll try it.
Okay.
Okay? So, unique New York, New York's unique. You know you need unique New York. Yes, good.
Oh,
Did you get
that's
that
not
one?
so bad.
No, not so bad, right? Okay, now you try it at home. Unique New York, New York's. Well, I'll try again. We'll start again. Unique New York, New York's unique. You know you need unique New York.
Actually, I like that one.
Well, we all like New York.
Yes, I love New York. So, unique New York, New York's unique.
You know you need unique
New York.
Yes.
I don't know why, but that's the only one that's stuck in my head.
That's okay, keep that one, use that one.
I'm gonna use that one, okay.
You can choose your favorite, but something that gets your mouth working. Another good exercise can be doing lemon, screw up your mouth, lion. Open your mouth really wide. So with just practicing getting your facial muscles warmed up so that you're feeling more loose, ready to express yourself, you do lemon, lion. Try it, Rosh, try it. This is a silly one, I know, but still good for practice.
Okay. Lemon, Lion.
Lemon, lion.
Lemon. Okay, go on. Now my whole face is like, I'm gonna wrinkle up. Right.
Don't
So
ruin our makeup.
yes. Lemon. Lion.
Good, very good.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay.
So once
Perfect.
you've done some warm-ups like that, it can also be useful to warm up your body a little bit. Do a few stretches, stretch towards the floor, stretch up to the ceiling, stretch right and left, limber up a little bit. Because again, even if you're doing your presentation later in the day and you think, I've been moving all day, I've been talking all day, these exercises can be a good way of helping you get in the right mind frame to be prepared to speak and to get rid of some of that tension that we often feel in our bodies.
Yes.
And when we're feeling nervous, we can often want to fold our arms, hunch our shoulders, make ourselves as small as possible.
Yes. Yes.
But-
I think you just close up.
Exactly.
More. Yeah.
But often those postures can make us feel more vulnerable, more nervous. So as much as possible, as part of warming up, when you're headed out to the stage, if you're using a stage,
Yeah.
try to use postures that make you feel confident. For some people that might be chest out, arms out.
Strong postures.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
for me, definitely it's chin up and like take a deep breath and be like, okay.
Yes, breath is so important.
Okay.
Absolutely. Taking a few deep breaths and letting them out can be a very good way of calming down. Because we know when we're nervous, we get pounding heart, sweaty hands, our throat feels dry.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You can accept all of those feelings and also have these exercises that help you work through them. So once we're loose, warmed up, some tongue twisters and exercises, the other ones that we're going to focus on in this video are around how we can be using emotion, pace, pitch, and pausing to keep our audience engaged. So let's take a really simple phrase that many of us can relate to.
Yes.
I sat in traffic.
Okay.
Probably done that.
We've all done that. Sat in traffic.
Think about how many different ways you could say this very simple sentence, I sat in traffic. You could say it angrily, you could say it sadly, you could say it excitedly, I don't know who would say that, but you're good. So let's try. Rosh, tell me how you would say, I sat in traffic in an angry way.
Okay, that's easy.
That's the usual emotion, right?
I sat in traffic. That's how
Very good.
I love how Sri Lankan uncles. I sat in traffic. That's how they say. Sat in traffic. That's why I'm late. So yeah, so that's an easy one.
Yes, good one. Definitely
Okay.
one you can easily relate to.
Yes.
Now, what if, for some weird reason, we were really excited about sitting in traffic, and you could say, I sat in traffic. Sounds weird, right?
Maybe if you live like in some far off countryside and there's like only sheep and then
And you're in a
like,
big city, the first time you're sitting in traffic,
Yeah.
maybe.
You're like,
Maybe.
I sat in traffic. Oh my god, that was the most exciting thing I've ever done. So maybe.
Exactly. But this exercise is all about thinking about different emotions, how we can use different emotions in what we're saying. Because like we talked about in video 1, too often we're just rushing to get through, to get it all out, read every word, or just race through it. And instead we want to be thinking about how we take our audience on a journey. And part of that, like we know from all our favorite television shows or movies, is pulling people in through emotion. Even if you're not telling a story that you think is particularly dramatic, you can still find ways to put emotion into your voice to help your audience want to pay attention.
Yes.
So how would you say, I sat in traffic in a sad way?
Okay, I'll try. I sat in traffic.
Well done, well done. Also probably an emotion people can relate to when it
Yes,
comes to
maybe.
sitting in traffic.
Maybe. In the exercises that we were doing that day, we were talking about a train, and I absolutely, I don't know, I don't really remember which sentence it was. I think it was the train one.
Yes.
And one of the ladies had a very interesting take on it. She was being mysterious.
Yes,
and
she
a little bit
was.
like, sassy.
Yes,
and I
very
was like,
coy.
Yeah. And
Do you remember how she did it?
Yeah, and she was like, so basically the exercise was, I took the train, and then the way she said it was like, I took the train. And I'm like, ooh, where on earth did you go? Like, what happened in the train?
Yes, immediately you want to know more. You think, oh, where was that train
like,
going?
I mean, if I said something like, so I sat in traffic, and you're like, okay.
What did you do
Yeah.
while you were sitting in traffic?
Yeah, who on earth was in your car in traffic?
Exactly, exactly. And this is the power of emotion.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways that you can say the same sentence and it can convey totally different meanings.
Exactly. I mean, it's so funny. It's just such a random sentence, and then it could mean so many different. It could feel like so many different things the minute you say it with emotion.
Yes. So don't feel that whatever you're talking about is too technical, too dry, to have room for any emotion. Anything can be made more captivating by injecting some emotion.
Yes.
And if we're taking the same sentence, I sat in traffic, and thinking about pace, that's where we're reflecting on whether we're saying it quickly or slowly. Because through a presentation, you don't want to always be using the same pace because that gets boring.
Yes.
You want to vary how quickly and slowly you're speaking. Of course, you don't want it to be so fast that your audience can't understand or so slow that they just completely tune out.
I came here today.
Right.
And there are people who talk like that. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, can we speed it
Come
up?
on,
Like,
let's go. Okay, you can do it. You can do it.
Please go. Please hurry up. Hurry up.
But having that variety in how you're speaking is another good way of making your audience pay attention. So you can slow down for the parts that are really important or the parts where there's more suspense if you're sharing information where there's more drama. And you can speed up a little bit more if you're covering things that your audience may already know or things that are pretty basic because you want to make sure you're emphasizing those key messages, the things that are really benefiting your audience. So let's try I sat in traffic in a slow way.
Okay. I would assume slow is very sad. So, I sat in traffic. So that would be a slow way.
Yeah, a slow, reflective way.
Yes. But how would you do it in like a sort of a different pace way? Can you teach me? I mean,
sure. I think when you're saying something more quickly or more slowly, a lot depends on what's coming before and after. So if I was going to say that more quickly, it would be because I'm leading up to something that I want to slow down on. So I would say, I sat in traffic and I looked across into the car next to me and I saw the most amazing face I've ever seen. So the sat in traffic part is just a side detail. What I want to get to is the next.
Can you tell me where you were going? I'll go down the road a bit. So that's interesting, right? So when you posed that question to me, I was like, I have no idea. Like, okay, so that's something like that. Okay.
Yes.
So you can say it quickly, you can say it slowly, you can pause in between.
Exactly. It all depends on what's coming before and after, and whether that's information that you feel okay speeding through a little bit because your audience knows it or because it's not the key message, to then be able to add some variety by slowing down or speeding up on the next part. So you could also, like you were doing with it a bit more slowly, saying, I sat in traffic. And then all of a sudden, the traffic started moving. I couldn't believe it. I was at the office in 10 minutes. So you can see how using the pace.
I love it. She definitely is an actor. Oh, you're an actress for sure. I mean,
but we can all do this. Definitely.
Yes.
It takes practice.
I think it takes practice. Now, if you showed me this, now I can do it.
Yes, of course you can. Try it.
Okay. I sat in traffic, and then it started moving really quickly, and then I got to my date really fast, and everything's about a date now. I don't know why. Okay, so
yes, exactly. So if you're thinking about what comes before and after, then you can find those moments where you think, okay, here I can go a little bit faster to really emphasize this point where I'll slow down a bit.
Right.
So that's what we mean with thinking about pace, and it ties in really closely to pitch and volume, just how loudly or softly you're speaking. And again, you always want to be speaking loudly enough that your audience can hear you, but having some variety in the volume of your voice and in the pitch can be another good way of your audience saying, well, I want to listen to this. This is really interesting. So with thinking of the example of sitting in traffic, you might say, I sat in traffic. Right? Yeah. So we're varying the volume.
Yes. And then about pitch as well, right?
Yes, we're thinking higher, lower.
Okay. Okay. So what else? Anything else that you want to discuss in terms of like
so
exercises? And,
yes, absolutely. So the pause is a big one. We talked a little bit about this in video 1, but this exercise with a very simple sentence can be a good way of practicing pauses in different places. And you'll see that it really changes the meaning of the sentence too. So you try, I sat in traffic, putting a pause somewhere.
Okay. I sat in traffic.
Yeah. So the I what happened? What happened? Sat in traffic.
Yeah. It could be anything I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay.
So how would you tell me another example?
If I was going to put another pause in that sentence in a different place, I could say, I sat in traffic. So you're thinking, what did she sit in? Did she sit in something gross? What did she sit in? Traffic. I sat in traffic.
Right.
And where you're putting that pause can change where your audience pays attention. But either way, it's gripping their attention. It's making them want to know more, as opposed to just saying, I sat in traffic. Right? That's just a throwaway line. With every bit of your presentation, you can be thinking about how you're delivering it in a way that's going to create impact with your audience.
And how cool is it? Because we're just using such a simple sentence. So if it's something that's important that you're talking about, these things could really impact your audience, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is just, I said in traffic, right? So I think it's great. I think it's really great, Lindsey, because like I think these little tips will definitely help people who are trying to get better. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, some people are just blessed to be able to get up and talk there, you know? But then some find it harder. So it's just about practice, as you say, and then doing it a little bit more and more and more in smaller settings, and then one day you could.
Exactly, and don't be afraid to be a little bit silly. Part of engaging your audience is entertaining them, and sometimes we may be talking about very serious subjects, but entertaining doesn't have to mean that it's only light-hearted issues. Entertaining connects to engaging, to people paying attention, to remembering what you said. So when we get too caught up in feeling like, oh no, I just need to look very professional, I need to be very serious, then we lose that opportunity to really connect with our audience.
Right, so even being silly and even maybe like, even making fun of yourself.
Right,
Why
sure.
not, you know?
Being willing to make your voice a little silly, to make some silly gestures. These are all things that benefit our audience, and that's what it's all about. That's what we talked about in video
sometimes
one.
audience needs to be really comfortable as well.
Yes.
We never think of it, but they might be nervous as well.
Right.
They might be like,
They
oh no,
probably
is she
are.
going to ask me a question now?
Right,
Please
exactly.
don't.
Or if they've never heard you speak before, they don't know what kind of speaker you are, and they're thinking, oh, I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you feel more like sort of open to being funny or being more engaging or being like sometimes in my workshops what happens is they're very scared at first. They're always like, oh,
scared of being asked
yes,
something?
they are scared of being asked, scared of being there. Sometimes it's filmed, right? So it's not just the pressure of me being there, there's a video crew. So then they're like, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? Is what I can see in their faces. So what I do is I engage with them in English and Sinhalese in both languages, and I'm like, look, you know what, you guys, if you're not gonna talk, then this is useless. So we gotta be in this together. And then I tell them, now if you can't be scared now, okay. And then I just make it like I make funny and like fun, and I'm like, look, if you don't know who I am, then this sucks, but I hope you find out after today. And like making, you know, like sort of this persona, showing them who I really am without being like actually making myself vulnerable, right? And telling them, then they feel more like, oh wait, she opened up, so maybe we can open up and reciprocate, and that sort of mirrors, I think. So in my workshops, that's something at the beginning is the challenge, and then they're the best of friends. They laugh. We have such a great time. But it's the beginning that is the hardest, I think.
That's such a good point. Yes, being able to be vulnerable as a speaker, to create the space for your audience to also open up and be vulnerable.
Yes, and I think that was something that in my field that was very important, because if they're so scared, then they're not going to learn how to put their eyeliner on when I'm teaching them.
Exactly.
It's just like, it's just stiff.
Yes, and this benefits them in other areas of their lives as well.
Yeah, and it's simple things. And I feel one of the things that happened in my last workshop is I went with the full face of makeup, of course, but then I went there and I took everything off with them, in front of them, and that's showing vulnerability, right? Like that's just like, you know what? Here, everything comes off. Here are my fake lashes. Here are everything off, and they're like, ah, awesome. Like that exercise together. They took their makeup off as well if they had any on, and then me taking my whole full glam off was just like, ah, now I can relate to it. And she was like putting herself out there to criticism, you know. No one wakes up like this, you know. So yeah, I think it was such a small exercise that I did that just everything changed from there. It was like a turnaround.
I think that's a great idea. And for those of you who are watching who are not beauty bloggers, who would not be able to take your makeup off in your presentation or workshop, you can still draw from Rosh's experience with thinking about whether there is a personal story of your own that makes sense to share in your presentation. Because as humans, we love stories.
Yes.
I mean, that's how information is passed between groups for hundreds, thousands of years. So if there is something that you feel comfortable sharing, then adding a personal story can be another very powerful way of getting your message across, because it does show that you are willing to be vulnerable, to open up, and it can help your audience feel more connected to you.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I wanted to add.
I think that's a great addition.
Yeah,
that's a really wonderful idea.
So I think we've covered a lot.
I think so too.
Lot of tips, and I think this is great. And I mean, if you have any other ideas, of course we can do more videos in this series, and this is a new lifestyle series that I'm doing. If you guys hadn't joined us before, please do go and watch the first part, so you get to see, and then we also introduce Lindsey. So like now in this video we didn't really introduce you,
just know I'm Lindsey.
So from Canada. Yes, from Canada. So do watch our first video, and then I will have a series of lifestyle videos that I'm trying to do here. So now I'm in Bangkok and I'm meeting so many new people suddenly, and I'm so glad because I met all of you through.
We're glad too to meet you.
Through meetup groups, and I've met some lovely ladies, and it's I mean, people who do different things from different parts of the world, and it's great that we can all connect.
Yes.
You know, I think that's absolutely great. So
especially around issues that matter to all of us.
Yes, for sure. So that's how I met her, and I think it's really great that I could do some lifestyle stuff. I'm really glad I could make that addition to my channel.
Me too.
And so thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this video and of course learned something new. And I'll see you guys in my next one. So if you want to hit up Lindsey to contact her or anything like that, you can email me on beautybyrosh@gmail.com, or you can send me a Facebook message on my Facebook page, Beauty by Rosh, or leave a comment down below.
Exactly, and I will say thank you to Rosh for Beauty by Rosh today, helping with my makeup, doing my makeup was wonderful.
So thank you. Thank
my
you
pleasure.
so much. It's been amazing. And let's wrap up with that. And thank you so much. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. So I'll see you guys in my next one. And thank you so much, Lindsey, for coming over and doing this segment.
And thanks to you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.